Welcome to Money Motivations with Meltrice, where your wealth is your power. It's about time that you had access to the tools, the experts, and the resources you need to build a life of your dreams. My name is Meltrice, and I am on a mission to redefine generational and community wealth for thousands of people across the country. Why? Because wealth gives us confidence, freedom, and the power to reshape our communities. I am demystifying finances so you can reach your goals without struggle or confusion. Each episode, you'll hear financial strategies with real-world experiences so that talking about finances doesn't feel taboo. Now, if you're ready to carve out a new path to the financial freedom you deserve, then tune in and I'll take care of the rest. Hey, y'all. Welcome to the first episode of Money Motivations with Meltrice. I am excited and nervous at the same time to finally be here and doing this. It's been a long time, I will tell you. God gave me this vision maybe 5 years ago, and I fought it because I'm so busy. But I do understand the power of money and the power of not knowing how to manage your money. Or I would say not power, but what happens when you don't manage your money. So really, really excited about the podcast. And I don't know what God's going to do, y'all. All I know is that I'm being faithful. I am being intentional, and I am being obedient. So I don't know what you're going to get, but just follow me, y'all. Come on with me. Hang with me. Let's see what God has for us. Very excited about today. I felt like since this was my first episode, I wanted to give you insight into who I am as a person, a little bit into my background, and I couldn't have thought of a better person to share today's episode with, and that is my beautiful, sometimes crazy daughter, Alexis Wells. Alexis knows me better than anybody in this world. And as a matter of fact, I feel very strongly about the fact that Alexis saved my life. Simply because I was going down the wrong track, y'all. And when I got pregnant with Alexis at a young age, most people thought that my life had ended at that point. But I would say that my life had just began. So really excited to bring my baby to this very first episode. Alexis Wells, how are you?
I'm good. Not you about to have me crying already.
Stupid. Like I said, I literally don't know what God is doing, but what I am going to do is be obedient and do what he says do.
Yes.
So, a little nervous.
Okay.
But excited at the same time. And like I said, I couldn't have thought of a better person.
Oh.
The person who knows me best.
The crazy one?
The good, the bad, and the ugly about me.
Yes.
But I couldn't have thought of a better person to start my very first episode of Money Motivations with Meltrice with.
I am truly honored. I'm so excited to be here and do this with you. I know you've been talking about this for a while now, so just excited to actually see it come to fruition. So
I am too. So people know about me already, but a lot of times when I'm out in the public and I tell people I have a daughter, and they like, "Do you?" I'm like, "Yes, my daughter will be 30 this year." They like, "Well, oh, I'm sorry, I did put your age out there. My bad." All right, but now tell the world who you are, what you do, and what are some things that motivate you.
Like she said, my name is Alexis. I am 30 years old. I'm also a single mother, which is crazy, to a 7-year-old beautiful daughter named Aubrey. And honestly, she's really my motivation when it comes to just about everything in my life. I am in a space now, though, where I'm trying not to let her be my only motivation. I want myself to also be my motivation. I have to I'm getting into the mindset where I want to do it for me, not just for her. I can't just have my whole life dependent on her. So yeah, I would say that she was my motivation, but I'm starting to be my own.
I love that. I love that. And I understand exactly where you're coming from as a single mother, where your whole entire life is surrounded by your children.
Yes.
And then when they start to get their own life, you're like, who am I?
Yeah.
What do I like to do? That's not, dealing with my kids.
Yeah.
So I understand that. And I honor that because Aubrey is my beautiful granddaughter. And a part of a lot of the things that I do, she motivates me a lot, along with all of my other grandchildren. But yeah, that is definitely a motivating factor for me. I just remember growing up as a single mother, not knowing what to do, knowing that the world around me said that I couldn't make it. And that was my motivating factor at that time. I'm like, everybody says that I made the worst mistake in my life. And yet I'm looking at my beautiful daughter and I feel like it was the best decision of my life. But I recall feeling like I was stuck in a relationship with your dad because of his ability to support me financially and being stuck in something that was completely unhealthy. And, it was really a time of real struggle for me.
Yeah.
Just out of curiosity, did you realize that deep struggle that I was going through, not just emotionally, but financially?
I had absolutely no idea.
So I hit it well.
You hit it very, very well. I literally cannot think of any time where I was needing anything. Everything that I wanted, I received. It was like, either way it go, my mother is gonna make it happen. I'm gonna get it either way. So it wasn't ever like I'm trying to be, or I was needing. I never needed. I never knew that we were struggling. For a long time, I loved ramen noodles. That was like, I didn't think that was anything uncommon. Ramen noodles every day. That's the best meal ever. It wasn't like I was thinking, we needed to have, why do we have this every day for dinner, or, anything like that. Or why are we only going to Chuck E. Cheese? Can we go anywhere else? It was like you did it in that moment, and I enjoyed it. I never thought anything negative or struggling from it.
Do you think that had I told you more about it, I could have helped you avoid some of the pitfalls that you may experience as a single mother?
Yeah, for sure. I definitely think that we had a very close relationship. I was a mama's girl, so it was like anything that you told me when I was younger, it was my mama said, my mama said, like, it wasn't like I just didn't know. I feel like if I would have known back then, like, not telling me like the nitty gritty, like, girl, we ain't got it today, like, but like, this time we can't afford it, but maybe next time, or like just having those smaller conversations and everything like that. I think it would have helped me further, because now I'm just like, I was in a place where I'm just like, well, my mother made it happen, I can make it happen.
Yeah.
Like, she made it happen, so I need to figure it out. I just need to make it happen. It wasn't like I needed to depend or rely, but it was like I needed to actually accept that, you don't have it at this moment, and it's okay not to have it in this moment. You don't have to go out there and fight tooth and nail to get it,
Yeah.
So.
And I kind of think about that, because I think about what I was willing to sacrifice to give you what you needed in the moment. And now that I look back at it, I wish I had just said, we can't do this.
We can't do it.
And I'm not willing to stay in this unhealthy relationship.
Yeah.
I'm not willing to stay up all night. I'm not willing to like really give of my whole soul just to give it to you, because I feel like you would have understood.
I would have understood.
And
for
I feel
sure.
like I stripped you away from a lot of lessons that you could have learned by
realizing
hiding
you
it
don't have
from
to
you.
have it right now.
Yeah.
It can wait.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be right now.
Right. Going into the bedroom and literally crying, saying, how am I going to pay for pay to play? Yeah. When she wants to, and she deserves it, because you were such a great girl for almost all of your life.
Oh.
I don't know if I'm going to share with you guys about the times where she drove me completely crazy, but you were such an amazing kid. You were everything that I needed to get through that very, very hard time. And you were also the reason why I said no. Like, I don't know if you remember, like, one day your dad and I, we were in an argument. I think I was pregnant with your brother at the time. And he literally chased me. Do you remember that?
Very vaguely, I do.
He chased me down our apartment building, and I was literally afraid of my life at that point, and I still stayed. And then that wasn't enough. So after I had Marlon, I remember when Marlon was a baby, and I had stayed up all night studying for an exam, and we got into an argument for some reason. I'm not sure exactly what at this point, but he left, and I had just had Marlon, and I'm like, you can't leave because I got an exam. I had an exam because I don't know if you recall, but got pregnant my senior year of college with Marlon, and everybody was like, abort, and I'm like, no, and thank God I didn't. Because we wouldn't have your brother, who is amazing. But so we got into it. I stayed up all night studying because Marlon was not a sleep at night kid, and struggling to keep him quiet, struggling to study. Anyway, your dad and I got into this big argument the next morning, and he left, and knowing that I had an exam, a final exam. So I am just like a week out of having a baby, because I told my professors, give me 2 weeks, pending any complications, I will be right back. And they gave me 2 weeks. So this was like a week or so after I had him. And he left, and I was grabbing the door of his car as he was driving off. And that was the pivotal moment for me. I was like, I am not doing this anymore, and my children deserve better. Yeah. But you didn't know any of that was happening.
Absolutely. This is like a whole new thing for me. I'm like, what is happening?
So let me ask you this. As a single mother, what are some of the sacrifices you're willing to take? And what are some of the things that completely stress you out about it? Like, financial things.
The financial, I'm sorry, say that one more time. The financial what?
What are some of the things that stresses you financially for being a single mother? And what are some of the things that you're willing to do to get the finances you need for you and my grandbaby?
So I feel like I am. Before I was very horrible with money, which is weird, seeing as though you are my mother. Like very horrible with money, but I'm actually in a space where I am learning to make the sacrifices and learning all of those things about my finances. So I honestly, I don't know if I have any in this very moment right now, but I'm actually learning that it's okay to make those sacrifices when it comes to your financials. Like, all right, girl, you can't have that McDonald's today. Like, no, we're not going to. Let's go ahead and go to the grocery store instead of going out to eat every single day or going to buy some food or going out to lunch or anything like that. It's okay to go ahead and get your groceries and be intentional on your meals. Because I remember one time I was cleaning out my refrigerator and I threw away, and that is so crazy. I didn't even look at it as groceries. I was like, oh my God, I am throwing away so much money. Because everything just went bad. Because instead of using the food that we bought, we were still going out to eat. And I'm like, you are throwing away so much money. You have to stop. That is not okay. So I'm very, I'm more intentional on my grocery shop and everything like that. It's weird. I really can't think of anything that's like
that stresses you out about being a single mother.
Stresses me out about being a single mother. Jesus Christ. Okay, so
and your finances.
The stresses is more so I am trying to, like, when Aubrey has her pace to plays and everything like that, and like I just got paid, and I'm like, all right, so now I have to pay $150 here that I wasn't prepared for, to have to pay that $150 here. Or she told me she wants to go to cheer camp, and I was looking them up, and I was like, girl, that's like $500 a month. That's stressful. But I'll try to figure out, and I'll try to make an intentional plan to put that money to the side so that I can make sure that she's able to do that for the summer, even if it's not the whole summer, maybe just a month or a couple weeks or something like that. So just so that she can have that opportunity to actually do it. So it's just, it's smaller things like that. And then stressors, also like making sure that I am doing what I need to do right now for her future. I think that's a bigger stressor for me, making sure that her future, she is not having to struggle as much, making sure that I'm putting money to the side so that it's building in her savings account so that she doesn't have to struggle for like school or maybe a car, maybe, you know, maybe she wants to buy a house, a down payment, you know, things like that will help her in the future.
Yeah, and I feel like I wasn't able to do that, as much of that with you guys, because I was a single mother. And I felt like although I was pursuing success and I had the good job and I had the good career and I was making good money, I still was never, ever able to save and build legacy like I wanted to as a single mother, because these things kept coming up. Like every time I would build a nest egg, it was like, oh, you got to pay for Marlon. Yeah. He needs some shoes. He didn't outgrew his shoes. Remember I told you the story? Yeah. About, I was in college and it was like winter and all the summer clothes were on sale. So I'm like, oh yes, I'm about to get Alexis all these summer clothes. And I got you all of these summer clothes, and in the summer you had outgrown everything that you had never worn before. You had a growth spurt. And I remember calling my mother crying and saying, Mom, what am I going to do? Because my mother wasn't financially able to help me like I'm able to help you. So how does that feel to have that support system that is saying, okay, I don't have it, but I know my mother got it. And if I tell her Aubrey want to go to cheer camp, guess what? Aubrey going to cheer camp. Yeah. But how does that help to eliminate
I feel
some
like
of your stress?
It's almost like it's a great crutch, but it's also enabling just a little bit, only because I know that if I don't have it, my mama got it. But I don't want to have to be like, my mama got it. Okay, whatever. I'm cool always because my mama got it. It's like at some point I have to learn how to stand on my own and do it for myself and have those financials in place so that it's not you're not always my crutch. Yeah. So it's like, yeah, my mama got it, but you know, I got to learn how to do it for myself.
So what is that pivotal moment? What was that pivotal moment for you that said, okay, I can't use my mom as a crutch. I can't. Have you had that pivotal moment? Like, I can't use my mother as a crutch. I need to get out there and get it on my own. When did that happen, or did that happen for you yet?
That happened last year.
Don't believe her, y'all. She still be. No, I'm just playing.
No, I mean, I still, whatever. No, but it definitely it happened last year.
Yeah, I agree.
With the electric company thing that we did.
That was a really bad time.
That was a really bad time for us.
You want to tell the audience about that time?
Woo! So I had gotten really, really bad with one of my bills that I had not paid. I don't think I paid that bill.
You didn't pay it since you moved in,
I have not paid it. I did not pay it since I moved in, literally. And I've been in the apartment now for four years, and I have not paid this bill. One day, got home, lights off, and I was like, what is happening?
We can laugh about this now.
Right.
But Lord have mercy, I know we was going to survive
I was like,
this.
what is happening? What is going on? I called the company, and it was like, yeah, you owe like $2,000. And I was like,
it was $3.
I was like, okay. And I used I used my mother as my crutch, and I paid my bill. And
How?
I used my I used the credit card that I had from my mother, um, and I paid my bill. And I did not I did not tell her how much it actually was. And then I was at her house that day. I paid it off. I went home the next day. My lights and everything were back on. And she found out how much it actually was, which was completely my fault. I should have been a lot more honest with the amount that I was paying. But I we fell out for a little while. Well, it wasn't really a falling out. It wasn't a misunderstanding either. I don't even know the word that I'm looking for that. But we were not in agreement with the situation when it came to a lot of things. So I in that moment I was like, Alexis, this was not okay.
Oh,
Because it wasn't okay.
but it was okay.
It was okay because you were my mother. You understood. You were willing to help me, but it was not okay in the way that I did it.
Thank you for that. Yeah, that was. Well, you stopped speaking to me for
I did.
about a month and a half. I was stressing out, y'all, because I'm like, what did I do wrong? It was a really hard time for us, but I will say that I'm grateful that I had it.
Yeah.
Because had I gone through an experience like that when I was raising you and your brother, we would have been without lights.
Yeah.
But I'm also grateful that that was a pivotal moment for you.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And that we got through it together. Because I felt like, okay, this was a time for this. You and your brother always say, I take every moment as a learning moment. Mom, why is every moment a teachable moment? Because I'm a mom, right? But just glad that was a pivotal moment for you, and knowing the fact that yes, I have my mom, but if I didn't have my mom,
what would I have done?
What would you have done? And that's the point that I think most mothers,
yeah,
they get to a point where, especially as a single mother, like, I have to make sure I can do everything that I need to do to take care of my children and to make sure that we don't have needs or lights cut off or anything like that. And sometimes we have to make sacrifices that we don't want to make. And that's why this topic of finances and building wealth and legacy is so important to me, because I know what it's like to not have it. I know what it's like to sacrifice your soul just to get something to care for your kids. And I don't want any woman to have to experience that on my watch. Yeah. So I'm hoping that, throughout the course of us bringing experts to the podcast and real life experiences, people will find themselves in it and say, if she did it,
I can do it.
I can do it.
For sure.
So I had 3 jobs, remember?
Oh, yeah, I remember.
I worked as a custodian at the apartment complex. I drove the bus at Kent State, and I think every weekend I was doing hair.
Yeah.
And I did all of that just to get my way through college, because I remember when one of my pivotal moments to go back to college was when, me and your dad got robbed one night. And it was our anniversary, we went to dinner and came back, everything was stolen. And you were born at this time. And I was like, oh my God, I never, as a little girl, this was not my dream.
Yeah.
To be scared to go to bed and not knowing if we were gonna, be robbed or be hurt, and like put my daughter in that situation. Yeah. Like, this was not my dream. And am I willing to do this just to have some money? Or am I willing to go the route where I just have to work hard to get to where I need to go to realize my dreams? And that was the moment where I'm like, I'm going back to school. And I didn't tell anybody until the day of. I had rented a U-Haul, and I start calling people like, y'all gonna help me get to Kent? They like, get to Kent? What? Because I didn't want anybody to crush my dreams, and I didn't want anybody to tell me what I couldn't do. And I just went.
You feel like somebody would have?
Yes. When I was pregnant with you, so many people was like, "Oh, she pregnant. That's it. She ain't gonna become nothing." She gonna be off. They counted me off. They counted me off. And do you remember like when you were pregnant with Aubrey, and we were in that room, and you were like, you were thinking about terminating the pregnancy, and the doctor was like, "Oh, nope,
you can't.
You can't. You too far along." And you were crying.
Yeah.
And what did I tell you? Do you remember what I told you?
No, I think I was too hysterical to remember what you told me.
I told you at that time, I said, don't let anybody make you think that this is not the blessing that it is. Because when I was pregnant with you and when I was pregnant with Marlon, they made me think it was a big mistake and not a blessing. Yeah. And you and your brother were my blessings. So I know we've been talking for a while. I told you I didn't know where God was going to take this. But tell me how some of my money, or do you even remember? This answer might be Mom, I don't even remember how some of my money mistakes impacted your life.
Yeah, I don't. You know what I mean? I don't remember anything. I think it kind of just goes back to the whole, I didn't know.
Yeah. I
didn't know about anything when it came to our finances or your finances. Yeah. It's our finances, but you know. Yeah. I had no idea anything that we went through. I didn't know we were struggling. I didn't know anything.
Yeah. That's good. I think my biggest lesson in that, and the thing that I would tell you is to not make that same mistake with.
Oh, I don't.
But don't just be like, I'm broke, girl. But don't really talk to her about money, right?
I do talk to her about money. I let her know, like, you know, mommy cannot afford it right now.
Right.
Like, maybe we can do this next week, or maybe we can do this when I get paid again. But right now we can't afford it. Like, I just got done making sure that our bills are paid. All of our bills are paid. And this is not something that I can do right now. Right. And we have to just sacrifice for a little while. And there was, before it was like a point where we were eating ramen noodles for like a whole week because I wanted to make sure that she was, I had to pay off her aftercare. Her aftercare was coming in like way too expensive. And I was like, okay, we're going to ramen noodles this week, girl. And she was like, okay.
And you decided not to call your mommy?
I didn't, no.
Oh, okay.
I mean, like, I know I could have, but you know, it's certain things that's like, I could sacrifice with some ramen noodles for a whole week, and
I like that
and
about
just go ahead and make sure that that's paid off with us.
I don't like y'all eating ramen noodles for a whole week, but at the end of the day, I love you putting on your big girl drawers and saying, this is what I have to do to get to where I need to get to myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. So what is your superpower when it comes to finances, money? What's your superpower?
My superpower is you. I am kryptonite. Okay. I am not good now, but I am doing the steps necessary to be better at it.
Yeah.
Definitely was kryptonite. You were my superpower when it comes to my finances.
I love it.
For a very, very long time. But I am doing the steps to do better.
Yeah. And it makes me smile, not being your superpower in the area of finances, but I think every mother wants to be a superhero to their daughter.
I mean, you're my superhero, period. You are my shero, okay? You are inspiring me. And even right now, during this whole thing, this podcast, I'm like, ooh, okay, I can see where it's going. This is beautiful. I wanna do more.
Yeah.
You inspire me to do more.
You inspire me.
Period.
You inspire me, period. So what was one of the worst money mistakes that you have made in, like, let's just say the last 5 years? What you could say, you could talk about more than one or just one.
Money I mean, I think I just cried about it.
Oh, well, yeah.
I think I just cried about it.
That's a big one.
I think that was the most, I mean, like, that one sticks out to me a lot because of just all of the emotions and everything that went with it. Mm-hmm. It was a very trying time.
Yeah.
And I feel like I just learned so much from that one mistake
Yeah.
that I was like, oh, I'll never let that happen again.
Yeah. And I don't know. I feel like we got closer after
Oh, we
that.
did.
Like, it was tough, but we had a tough conversation.
We did.
And I feel like it just brought us closer. We got a little bit more clarity into the women that we are today.
For sure.
And what's important. So,
Sure.
you know, sometimes we look at our mistakes and we look at our challenges as the end of the world, but they can be what propels you to the next level of your life.
Biggest blessing sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes they can be the biggest blessing. So what are currently some of the dumbest things you spend money on today?
Food. Food is my number one dumb thing. It's like I have to stop. I really don't have any like other things that I spend my money frivolously on. It's really just food. Like I want to be more intentional on buying my groceries and using the groceries that I buy.
Yeah.
And not spending so much money eating out or like feeling like, all right, I'm lazy today, I don't feel like cooking. It's like, no, go home, girl. You got food at home. What y'all used to tell us, oh, I ain't got McDonald's money. We got food at home.
Right. Get your make your lunch, pack your lunch,
pack a lunch,
your
everything.
snacks.
Yes, absolutely.
And it's healthier.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's healthier on your pockets and it's healthier on your body.
Everything, all of the above.
Yeah, so this has been an amazing conversation with you, Alexis.
Can I ask you a question?
Absolutely.
What made you want to do all of this, to talk to women about, or talk to the world about your finances and like the struggles and the motivations that you have? Like, what made you want to do it?
Well, first, like I said, I wrestled with God for like 2 weeks when he, in my sleep, kept waking me up for 2 weeks saying, I need you at the forefront of this. I need you at the forefront. I need you, very clearly, I need you to help people avoid going through some of the things that you've gone through. He's calling me to do it. So I fought that. I remember talking to Larissa about it, and I was like, I'm too busy. Like, no, but he would not let me sleep. So outside of that, it just kind of formed into my own passion because I literally don't want to see people, but particularly Black women, go through what I went through. I want to help them avoid some of the pitfalls. And I truly, truly believe that a lot of things that we experience in our community has everything to do with the lack of wealth, influence, and power.
And knowledge.
And knowledge. I feel like we've been oppressed for too long. And I feel like one thing that's common amongst all races, all communities, is the color green. Because money talks.
Oh.
So when you hit people in their pocket, they start listening. But I feel like sometimes because we can't hit people in their pocket, people don't hear our community. Yeah. And I just recall like growing up and in my community and I seen what Black wealth and Black excellence looks like. Mm-hmm. I saw Black entrepreneurship, Black ownership. And now when I look at communities that are Black, that are predominantly Black, I see no ownership. And I want to see that again. And I just want people to start caring more about legacy than what they wear on what they wear. I want people to care more about college funds and building wealth than purses and shoes. And I'm not the financial literacy coach that says you can't have the purses and the shoes. Yeah. But what I am is the coach that says, let's do bucket A, which is all of your needs, and let's do bucket B, which is your legacy and your wealth. And then you can do bucket C with no guilt.
Yes.
With no guilt. And I want people to be that way. I feel like I'm really close to being on my journey of like wealth, and I want to bring people along the way.
Well, you bringing your granddaughter along the way, because she'll tell you in a minute. She like, Mommy might set up an account for me, and I got so much money in my account.
Yes.
And she think it's all her, me, no, Mommy contributes.
Yes. We set up an account, and you've been contributing to it, and Aubrey knows that it's not about what I can do now or instant gratification now, but it's about my future and how I can make an impact on my community.
Yes, and she's so excited about that too.
Oh yeah,
which is like the crazy thing. Like she understands. Like I know this is not a now thing. This is a future thing, and I can't wait till I grow up and I can get my own car as soon as I graduate. Yeah. She's so excited.
Yeah, and I'm excited about her book as we close.
Yes.
I'm excited about her book, Aubrey's Adventure to Cashland. Make sure you get your copy. A fun way to teach kids about money in a way that they don't feel like they're being taught about money.
Yes.
So really excited about it. It's on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, on the website, meltricesharp.com. But I am excited that my first episode was with you. And this is about listening to God. Because as I was thinking about who my guest would be, God said, and we started talking about it. God was like, you have to let your daughter be your first episode. And as usual.
And I was like, what, me?
He's right.
What, me? Are you
As
sure?
usual, he is right. I believe, I'm very confident that God got some amazing things for you.
Yeah.
And I'm
excited to see where I go. Like, this really inspired me to do all the things that I know I've talked to you about.
Yeah.
To actually make them happen.
Yeah.
Like, okay, follow my passion as well.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm usually the behind the scenes person with you, everything that you do.
Yeah.